Alright, so we've got some brand new Outriders news to go over today. We're going to be talking about one of the biggest issues that is going to be facing the game today. It's being worked on by Square Enix, but this is the top discussion right now out in the community on Reddit. It says, lost everything after joining a friend's game, 5 legendary weapons and all my gear, please help. So there's a bug in the game that does exist where you can actually lose everything. We don't know how prevalent this bug is. In fact, it seems to be super rare right now, but Square Enix gives a reply as to what they are doing about this, and they are hopeful that they can squash this bug before the game actually releases. In fact, they are absolutely thrilled in a way that they did this demo because they're able to do a lot of testing and figure this stuff out before the full launch of the game. Now, on the flip side of this, we do have some great news about people's experience in the demo. That this is what 59 hours can net you in terms of legendaries. Pretty impressive right there. Plus, we've got an update about an upcoming Square Enix event. Check it out. We've got Outriders, Tomb Raider, and more Square Enix game announcements coming out of Showcase this month. I'm going to talk about that here in just a moment. Plus, the Outriders dev team, People Can Fly, talks about why they delayed Outriders. They also go into more details about next generation console enhancements for the PS5 and Xbox Series X, and so much more. So you know what? Let's dive straight into the latest happenings around Outriders right now. Welcome back, everyone. Overworld Games here. Hope you're doing good, and let's do this. So I'm really hyped about this game, but my biggest fear right now is definitely this really strange bug that's happening to certain players. As you can see right here, this guy lost everything after joining a friend's game. 5 legendary weapons. It shows that he's level 7 right here. And yeah, that's a bummer. Square Enix is aware of this, and this is actually from Square Enix right here. It says, about items disappearing from player inventory. It says, this is an issue that we are treating very seriously and are doing our utmost to investigate. While our upcoming patch will address one bug causing this issue, we are continuing to track down other causes. Now, in the spirit of transparency, while we do not currently have a system in place that can automatically restore an infected player's complete inventory, our teams are nevertheless working hard to see what may be possible in the near future. Now, they furthermore say, once we have identified and resolved the underlying causes for this issue, as well as further investigated the feasibility of a restoration system, we will provide the community with an update and try to get affected players back on their feet. Please keep an eye on our social channels and community for further news about this. So, you know, previously they've been super aggressive about fixing issues with Outriders. So, yeah, you know, I'm very hopeful that they can actually get this addressed. In fact, they have to by the launch of the game. We shall see what happens. But yeah, they need also a system in place just in case if this does happen to players that, yes, they can resolve this issue in the future. You know, I haven't lost any of my legendaries in the game so far. I really do enjoy the actual weapons in the game. I'm super impressed with what they've been able to actually create with the weapons. So it would be a total bummer to have an entire library of weapons just absolutely disappear in the game. But yeah, let's keep going. So again, you know, you can apparently get a lot of legendaries right here. The experience right now varies from player to player, by the way. We got Kaiser Drew says his friend got all of these legendaries, which is pretty much what the demo has to offer for the most part. And then a lot of people say that they haven't even gotten a single legendary and they played over 52 hours of the game. So the experience varies, and I think it depends on what enemies you face off against. If you accidentally somehow don't face off against captains or something, or you're at a lower world tier, that's going to affect your loot rate drops. Now, with the final game, we're going to get those higher world tiers, which is super exciting, and are going to up those legendary chances. Now, let's talk a little bit more about the upcoming event for Outriders. Check it out right here. It says the first Square Enix Presents event will be held on March 18th. Mark it on your calendars, everyone, and it will include announcements regarding Life is Strange, Outriders, and Tomb Raider. So again, March 18th is going to be the date where they have something related to Outriders. So you're going to definitely absolutely want to mark that down. We might be seeing something brand new related to the game. Maybe they will showcase expeditions, which of course is going to be that in-game content. We really haven't seen enough from that yet. And you know what? I want some surprises. I don't want them spoiling absolutely everything related to this game. Now, let's go into this recent interview with the creative director of Outriders. Let's see what they had to say about actually delaying the game. I'm really happy that this company isn't afraid of delaying the game. However, they did say recently that they are very confident in the April 1st release date. But let's see what the interview has to say. It says, we basically moved the release date because we hadn't finished with some crucial things for us that the release would be jeopardized. Of course, we could have released Outriders anyway, but then we would have had to fix the game after launch with some patches, and we decided that it's not fair for the players. We want to release the whole package altogether as we are asking money for it, so we have to do our best to basically deliver as finished a product as possible. That's why there was a decision from us in Square Enix that we had to delay the launch to finish things and prepare the launch to be as successful as possible. Kudos again to People Can Fly for actually making that decision. And honestly, if they can't squash the bug, this game-breaking legendary bug, weapons bug, I guess you would call it, just delay it a little bit further until you squash the bug so it doesn't like completely jeopardize the game. But it sounds like they're going to be releasing patches to really address this issue. So again, they sound very confident in their abilities. So yeah, hopefully they can actually pull this off. Now, let's talk about what they were actually able to improve with the recent delay of the game. They say this. This is the interviewer, WCCF Tech. They say, just wanted to ask if you could be a bit more specific as to what those things were that you wanted to improve in Outriders with the delay, with the additional development time that you had. And Bartek Kamita says this, he's creative director. The overall feel the gameplay and feel the game is very often a sum of small things. There was no huge thing that was missing. Rather, it was basically hundreds of small irritations, that altogether could sum up as an unpleasant experience. So we are trying to remove those as much as possible to give people the best possible experience. Of course, there are some bigger and smaller adjustments to the already existing features, but I would mostly point out that we wanted to basically polish things that we knew could make the game feel lacking to the player. We knew why it would be the case. It was many small things that we needed to finish and deliver in a better form, because otherwise altogether they weren't working correctly. Love the attitude that they're willing to step up and say delay the game. Again, you look at Cyberpunk, I bet you anything they were wishing they did the Outriders thing and just delayed the game even more. Again, we'll see what happens at launch. Hopefully this game is solid at launch, but so far the demo overall, despite this rare legendary bug, is solid experience. Now they say this, can you possibly tell us about the next generation enhancements that you are planning for Outriders on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X? Will they include higher frame rate and or better graphics? This is something I'm really wondering. Now Peter Nowowski, People Can Fly, says this, that's something we are still working on and trying to make good use of all the new functionalities that the new consoles allow, though not everything will be there from the beginning. There are some things that I can confirm and others I don't want to say right now because they may be not there on release. I can confirm 4K at 60 frames per second and other smaller functionalities such as the PlayStation 5 activities. For example, also the touchpad is used for navigation, menu shortcuts, and things like that. Those are the things that I can confirm right now as I saw them working. I know there's quite a few other stuff we are working on, but I don't want to promise them for release. Smart man, once again, not over-promising. I think that is great news. But it's also great to hear that they are looking at even further upgrading the experience on next-gen consoles going forward. Now, let's keep going with this interview. Furthermore, they say this, I'd like to follow up on some of your questions about post-launch support. Earlier you said that you are striving to have the game to be complete content complete when it comes out. You previously said you're not going to make it a live service game, so I wanted to get some clarification about what approach you're taking to post-launch content. Will there be things like new classes, new location raids, that kind of thing? Now the reply is here. It says, in general, our goal was to deliver the complete package for the release, and when talking about the things that may come later, it really depends on the players, how they will react, if they will be interested, if we build a huge player base. We have the ideas, of course, but for now, there's nothing we can promise and say we are doing things that will kill him. I think that's, I'm pretty sure that this is a paraphrase. Now it says, if people will be interested, then we have some ideas on how to develop it further, but it's more like adding new elements than adding the things that are missing from the game we have right now. So, yeah, that's what's going on right now. They're going to be listening to player feedback at the moment and seeing how the game actually performs. And they're going to make sure that's working. That's a big thing that they've also said going forward. And I think that quote there about how there's nothing we can promise and say we are doing things. So, yeah, it looks like they're just trying to keep the game nice and stable at launch. There's a mess up in that translated interview, I think. So, yeah, just a note there. Now, furthermore, it says here, along the same lines, putting aside the larger scale stuff like DLC or new classes, Diablo 3 comes to mind as something that wouldn't really be considered a service game by many, but does have a large player base that's retained for a long time. They've kept that by tweaking the meta for builds along with seasonal characters and leaderboard resets. Would the Outriders team consider anything along those lines if players are vocal about wanting something to extend their playtime a little bit and keeping things fresh? Now, Piotr says this, we have tools for that. We can adjust the meta if need be. People may decide, okay, we are done because we are already found out the perfect build that will override everything. I don't think we're going to have issues like that because we are still balancing and iterating. But if so, we have tools to do that, and we are prepared in such cases, for such cases right there. So yeah, it's good to know that they can actually mess with the actual meta of the game and backend of the game as well. So that is really cool there. All right, so that does it for this video. However, before I leave, let's go over your top comments. Remember, leave a comment down below. It could end up in a future video. So the most recent video I did about Outriders was called Most Difficult In-Game Expedition Revealed. New updates to legendary weapons. And let's see your replies. Gaming on Fiction says, I just love that People Can Fly is bringing back demos. Once upon a time, most games also had a playable demo, so you could sample things before investing. I really hope this is a feature on the rise again. Dude, I totally agree. I hope this is like the revival of demos. I remember playing the hell out of Star Wars Battlefront, for example, on the demo disc with my twin bro Ryan, and we got to try it out for a long time, and of course we eventually bought the game, but it was wonderful to be able to try the game. I just think, you know, companies are worried that people won't even go beyond the demo and just play over and over again. But yeah, there's enough incentive right here with this game for sure to check out the full version of the game. Now, let's keep going with the comments. Adam says this, I really dig this game. They've got something here with Mad, Potential, Pyro, and Devastator are my favorite. Chosen says, honestly, what the F did people think with the demo that you're supposed to be able to get the best in-game gear? Instant gratification. Yeah, you know, that's not going to be the case. And also, People Can Fly actually don't want that to happen with the demo. So they've made sure, you know, by reducing legendaries, people, you know, really enjoy the progression of the main game. Honestly, I haven't been grinding too much in this game with the demo. I want to enjoy the actual full experience when it releases. It's going to be a hell of a time, I think. A lot of fun. All right, thank you all so much for the comments. Stay tuned here for more Outriders news and open world gaming goodness. And hopefully we get some actual good news about Cyberpunk in the future as well. But thank you for watching. Stay tuned, and I will see you next time. Take care.